What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. It's your boy Gabe, and today is the last of the little bit of mini series that we've been doing on barbecue. And so today we are doing Carolina style barbecue ribs. This one, unlike the last one that we did, goes from sweet, very, very sweet, to the opposite end of the spectrum to very, very sour and tangy and vinegary. So we went from sweet to vinegar. Let's start with the rub, and then we'll move on to the sauce. All right, so most of this rub is going to end up being paprika. So I noticed that when I was doing my research on this, they were all kind of basically the same style of recipes for the rub. The rub was basically the standard rub for whether it's North Carolina, Eastern Carolina, South Carolina. They were all kind of the same rubs. So, like I said, most of it is paprika, and then everything else is tablespoons and teaspoons. So, quarter cup of paprika, okay, and then about 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, okay, and then about 2 tablespoons of regular white sugar, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of salt, same with pepper, okay, and then a tablespoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, okay, and then give this a good mix. And this one's a little bit more lighter than the last rub. It's got a little bit of white to it. It's not as dark and rich and red as the Kansas City barbecue is, but it definitely has a almost Tex-Mex-y kind of smell to it with the cumin, because the cumin's very strong. So here's our rub, and we don't really need a binder for these. You can if you want to put a little bit of yellow mustard on there. I'm gonna not, because of how vinegary the sauce is going to be. I don't want to taste vinegar for a week, if that makes sense. I don't want to taste nothing but vinegar. I want to be able to taste the ribs, the seasoning, and the sauce. So no binder, just the seasoning. And then we'll throw this out in our smoker at 225 for about 6-7 hours until these are done. And when they get close, then we'll make our sauce and we'll go from there. So we'll see you in about 6 hours. Excuse the water. It's raining outside. But our ribs ended up taking about 5 hours. So here's the ribs. They smell really good. They definitely smell like they got some sugar on them. They smell nice. They smell smoky. I like it. While we let these kind of cool so that we don't eat them right away and burn out of the roof of our mouth, even though that would be exciting, let's make our sauce. So our sauce is very, very acidic. And when I say acidic, I mean we use a lot of this. And we're actually going to use probably about 2 cups of this. And that's going to be most of it, to be quite honest. And so, like I said, most North Carolina and most even South and East and whatever West Carolina uses apple cider in their sauces as kind of their base. So we have our apple cider. Now I don't have any tomato paste, or I do have honey, but I don't have any tomato paste. So I'm going to use a little bit of ketchup instead, which is perfectly fine. But if you have tomato paste and honey, use like one of those little 5-ounce cans, and then use like a tablespoon of honey. Works wonders. But I have ketchup, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of light brown sugar, and then we got some pepper and salt, and then we're gonna add some onion and garlic. And instead of red pepper flakes, we're gonna add just a little, couple dashes of crushed red pepper, and then we're gonna add just a little bit of hot sauce. And if you have Texas Pete's, use Texas Pete's. That's what I had in my fridge. I know it doesn't all taste the same. I know there's something different about all of them, but if it's hot sauce, it's hot sauce. Just whatever hot sauce you got. We're not using a lot of it. We're just using a little bit, but let's go ahead and make our sauce. All right, so we're gonna do about 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Okay, then we're gonna do about a 1/4 cup of ketchup. Okay, then about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Okay, then about 2 teaspoons of salt and about a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, then about a teaspoon of garlic and a teaspoon of onion. Okay, then about a 1/2 teaspoon, like I said, a couple dashes of cayenne pepper. Okay, and then lastly, about a tablespoon of hot sauce. Okay, we'll give that a good whisk. Okay, and it's kind of got an orangish brown color to it, but there we have it. And then I'm gonna actually put this in a squeeze bottle and we'll try it out on our ribs. All right, so we got our sauce, we got our ribs. Now that Ohio weather's done being Ohio weather, let's try these out. So I just tasted a little bit of the seasoning that came off of these. It's definitely got some heat to it, but it's definitely tangy like the sauce is. It's definitely got that bite to it. It's not a lot, but it's very subtle when it comes to the seasoning. Cut this. It's got a nice bark on it, and they feel very tender. Ooh, I think we got a folly party one. I don't know, but there's our rib. So with this, the sauce, it kind of is just a pour on as you go kind of sauce. You could use it as a mop sauce, but with how thin it is, maybe if you cook it down a little bit, it might be able to use as a mop sauce. But for the most part, I've noticed that you just eat it without, or you eat it with as you go. So the seasoning is really good. I like that. It's almost kind of a candy coating per se. This is, I like this. It's got a little subtle heat in the back of your throat. That's interesting. I kind of like that. That's, wow. I wasn't expecting that. Interesting. Interesting. It's definitely not bad. It's just, I don't know. I was expecting something different maybe a little sweeter, but it's definitely, it's tasty. But let's try it with the sauce. We're gonna just dabble just a little bit on here. Cheers. Wow, that was really good. Wow, interesting. Maybe it's just that I haven't had Carolina barbecue in a while, but this is an interesting, hang on. The vinegar is nice, and it kind of goes well with the seasoning, because the seasoning's kind of almost got like a peppery taste to it. Like it's a pepper heat. This seasoning really brings out the pork flavor like the Texas barbecue rub did, was just the salt and pepper. This is fascinating. I am intrigued. This is definitely not, like I was expecting the sauce. I kind of assumed what the sauce would taste like, but the ribs themselves has an interesting flavor combo, and I am not upset by it. I do like the vinegar with these ribs. Well, not bad ribs. I don't know how to describe. It's like that vinegar bite that kind of, it doesn't hurt your teeth, but it has a weird mouthfeel to it, but then you just kind of keep eating more of it. I'm at a loss for words. They're really good, and you can there's definitely a lot of pepper in this, especially in the sauce. You really taste more of that than anything else, which gives it heat more than it gives it spicy. Hang on. Let's try this. Okay. So it definitely goes well with the pork. This sauce was definitely made for pork butt, for pork ribs. Yeah, I like this sauce. So of all the 4 that I have done, this completes the last one. And of the 4, I would have to say this one is definitely the most interesting one that I've had. The best one that I had is a tie between Memphis and Kansas. Kansas was very sweet, so I'd probably go Memphis, then Kansas, then Texas, then Carolina. And I might even flip-flop Memphis and Texas. Seasoning-wise, I love what Texas seasoning did. And then I would have to say this seasoning, and then Kansas seasoning, and then Memphis seasoning. I didn't taste a whole lot with Memphis seasoning. It didn't really do anything to the meat. It just kind of sat on top of the meat. So I like what Texas does, just plain salt and pepper did. I understand why a lot of pitmasters, anywhere you go, uses just salt and pepper. There's a reason for that, and I would say that that's definitely a solid reason why. And then it's just time and temperature after that. And it doesn't really matter, what kind of smoker you have, whether it's an electric smoker like I have, or an electric pellet smoker, whether it's pellets, wood chips, wood chunks, whatever, whether it's a charcoal smoker. It all depends on time, mostly, and temperature. And I've noticed that everybody's got, cook this at 350 for 45 minutes, or cook this at 325 for an hour, or whatever. That hot, fast cooking just doesn't do it for me when it comes to barbecue. When I think barbecue, I think low and slow. That's just me, but that's what true barbecue really is. And so I really hope you guys learned something from this little mini series. I definitely learned a lot from all of these. It was a very nice thing to try out and kind of do a little bit of digging. But there you have it, guys. Carolina style barbecue ribs, which concludes this little mini series. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button and notification button. Comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Tell me what your favorite one is out of the 4. And as always, guys, peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.